Hello and welcome to Mandela Park for round 6 of the Irish Touring Car Championship, with the season well and truly into its second half, with Martin Tracy in the Sierra leading the championship from Barry Rabbit in the tuning factory Integra. Meanwhile, in the Rookie Cup, we have Stephen Maher with a slight advantage over Jonathan Brady, with Galway man Tom Fahey in third. We've got 2 races today, but only the first race will count towards the championship. So let's get straight into it as we join our commentator, Leo Nulty, for the first race of the day.
So Martin Tracy puts the Sierra on pole almost under the magic minute. Then it's Barry Rabbit and Philip Burdock. Let's have a chat with some of the Irish touring car drivers.
Virgo, I see you're cooking the breakfast. How are you getting
Yeah. We're going well, thank God. We went out there in qualifying with a few issues here the last day. A bit of an accident, so we got the car straightened out, and it's more so a test day than anything today, so we're going well.
And where'd you qualify now?
Would you believe I haven't looked yet? But it's not important for the moment. Once we get through today, we'll be happy enough.
Absolutely. So any chance of us getting one of them rashers?
Of course there is. There's lots of them in the van.
Well, the best of luck, Virgo, for race 1 anyway.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So Paul, I believe this is your first time racing.
It is indeed, yeah.
What made you come?
Just the crack and the buzz of it all, and knowing some of the guys, so I just said, get out, it'd be nice to get out with them, and just get out and have a bit of crack.
And how did you find your first qualifying then?
Tough. We've only third gear, so we were slow. Pretty nervous about it. The nerves are at me. So, look, listen, we just give it a crack, see what's the worst could happen. Do you know what I mean?
And it doesn't make you feel nervous or anything, to have all the lads now
are all fully experienced.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
I'm just a novice. Yeah, it does. But you're like, what can you do? You know what I mean?
Get in there.
Just get into the thick of it, and go. That's it.
Well, the best of luck for today.
Thanks a million. I'm going to need
you.
it. Thanks a million.
We left on a family holiday on Friday, and we drove over to France. I think it's 470 kilometres, and I flew back this morning. Then we landed yesterday evening and flew back this morning for the race, but just kind of got here at the end of qualifying.
So you didn't go for qualifying. So
No.
what happens next for your race?
We'll just start from the pit lane, and you should be interested in trying to get through the back markers of the slower cars down for the race, and it's the dry weather suits us. So
it's a great series. Just we as a team run a couple of cars and train supported in Irish Motorsport. Fantastic series. Well, we were up there at the front with originally with Barry and Martin and all, and up there. So there's a battle up there which we're not in that contention today. There's battles in the midfield. There's guys coming in 15th and working twice as hard as the guys at the front of the grid, and that's their win if they can beat 3 or 4 of the cars that's around them. There's guys at the back of the field fighting, you often see it on some of the videos where there's 3 cars abreast down the pit straight and they're fighting for 21st place. There's 4 or 5 little championships going on at the same time. It's fantastic racing.
The track conditions today are very good. It's very dry, so just a lot of luck really, and getting to grips with the car a bit more the more we drive it, so happy enough. Got a few laps out there really. There's a few cars went off, so I think the session was cut a bit short, but happy enough though to get the pole position out of what we did, in fairness.
So here we go for the Jomo sponsored round 6 of the Irish touring cars. Very, very different cars all the way down the grid, and that's the beauty of this class. Rabbit gets a good start. He needs to get across in front of that Sierra before it comes on cam, because when it picks up its skirts, it's got a load of power. But Martin Tracy hangs onto it. Rabbit tries to sit around the outside. Then it's Burdock down the inside to Moss O'Rourke. And Burdock almost backwards gets the car way out of shape there as the rest come steaming through. And Burdock did hang on to it. And in fact, one of the cars gone off on the inside, all the rest through. There's Stephen Maher started from the pit lane, as he told us. So Martin Tracy leading now in the Westward Engineering Sierra Cosworth. RS500 actually. Rabbit right with him now in the tuning factory Integra. So this should give you a good battle. And look at the Sierra just laying down the lines of rubber there. Some 500 brake horsepower from this car. Rabbit somewhere up around 270, but the Integra a lot more nimble. And Barry Rabbit, of course, highly talented as well. So he's really pushing hard to try and hang on to the back end of Martin Tracy's car. Martin Tracy having to use the brake there on cold tyres for the second bit of the essence. That allows Rabbit right back up to him again. He really is having a go in the early stages, and they're walked away from the rest. And that's Donal Arundel just going off, but somebody in big trouble there. That's Brian Moore in the Subaru. Looks like a pipe has come off the turbo or something, or an oil pipe. Big fire. They're going off all over the place. That's Jimmy Hughes off into the gravel. So white flag being waved for a slow vehicle on track. Mondello Park track team, as ever, on top of things there. Just get that fire put out. So we're going to have a restart. And Barry Rabbit gets another chance to get ahead of Martin Tracy. And again, he gets the nose of the Integra ahead, but he just can't pull across the bows. And Martin Tracy's not going to lift off. Straight down the inside, late on the brakes. And he hangs on. Rabbit again Carbon Copy has a go around the outside, doesn't make it. Burdock a little bit more composed on this occasion. No sign of Tomas O'Rourke, he's gone missing. Then it's Arundel coming through in that beautiful sounding Mazda MX-6. Then it's Anthony Merton, the turbocharged Corrada. Blocker Clark right there. All the rest. Look at Stephen Maher. He was allowed to start at the back of the grid this time, so he's up much further than he was. So watch out for him. The leader's already getting away, though. Look at Martin Tracy getting on the power early. The back of the Sierra squirming around. But it's certainly a lot quicker than the Integra in a straight line. So nothing Rabbit can do. He's just got to push and hope for a problem. There's Burdock. There's Arundel. Here comes the Volkswagens now. It's Murta just ahead of Blocker Clark. Watch out for Phil Brennan there, the Octane.ie Rover 25. Loads of development work gone into that car, and it's going really, really well now as the season progresses. But great grid as ever from the Irish Touring cars. There's Stephen Maher. He's got by a lot of the cars already as they head up towards Dunlop Corner. Watch out for the two Honda Accords, the two Mondello boys. That's Ian Beattie and Philip Lawless, and a huge battle on the main straight now. That's Brennan on the inside. It looks like Paul O'Brien and the Sirocco on the outside. Blocker Clark in there too. Tom Fahey down the inside. He comes off the best, but somebody goes flying off in the background. That's Chris O'Connor in the 106. Big impact. But the tire wall doing its job, and he's absolutely fine. Look at this now. Fergal Bowes 961 being a little bit aggressive there and just nudging Keith Rabbit in the Mini Cooper S on the outside. That's Ian Beattie in the black Integra. There's Philip Lawless in the red one with a little bit of damage already on the front of that car. There's that looks like Brian Sexton driving the Jomo Lexus this weekend. He's jumped from car to car all year, but there's Rabbit now really having a go at Philip Lawless in the Integra as they head down towards turn 3. Great action all the way through this one now. Rabbit in that little Mini Cooper S built that from his road car actually and converted it into a racing car. Gave him some problems early on, but it's running well now. There's 961 Bowes, then it's Lawless. Rabbit all over the back of that Integra, and these Integras just literally built the night before the race, so a lot of development work. Basher Beattie right behind there with the headlights on, his black example, and they look a little bit soft for race cars, but they just, as we said, just got the cars going and got them out there. Look at this. Rabbit gets around the outside the first bit of the S's and up the inside for the second bit, so he makes up a place. Good move by Rabbit there in the Mini Cooper S, just getting ahead of Phil Lawless, but here comes Basher Beattie. And good battles all the way down. Here's Dave Clark now, Blocker Clark as he's known in Irish touring car circles, and he gets down the inside of Mannion. A lot of development work also gone into that Golf. The fact that the cars are all different just loses a place on the way out for some reason, allows them to go and develop the cars as they want. There's Bowes now, Martin Tracy beginning to put laps on people, and Fergal Bowes just shovels him off the track, and that's a little bit of ropey driving there. Martin Tracy won't be very happy about that one. Had to take to the grass there. And look at Barry Rabbit. Let me by, brother. I'm chasing the race leader here. So Keith Rabbit lets Barry Rabbit down the inside there. And Barry Rabbit continues his chase of Martin Tracy. Martin Tracy only now completing that move on Fergal Bowes. And that will help Barry Rabbit just a little bit. All the cars come streaming up the hill. That's Brian Sexton, one of the quicker drivers in the series. Had problems with the Evo that he won a few rounds in early on, and he's been trying out a few different Jomo tuned cars now. And look at him down the outside, matching Martin Tracy on the brakes and just locking in inside front. I bet he wishes he was in his Evo. There's Rabbit, then it's Bowes down a lap. Then it's Keith Rabbit and Ian Beattie right with him. Basher Beattie there in the Honda Integra. So it's great action all the way through the field here. But up the front, Martin Tracy now beginning to pull away. This car very well sorted. He runs Westward Engineering, tunes racing cars for a living, and runs a rolling road. So you can be sure this car is putting out optimum power, and nothing even Barry Rabbit can do about it at this stage. Quite sinister looking now, the Black Sierra RS500, as he heads down to the S's again. But there's action all the way down the grids. Murta now in the turbocharged Corrado fighting against Mannion in the Honda Integra. That's Tom Fahey just ahead of them, prepares a few of these cars out in Galway. So intriguing battles with all these different cars, and all going in very late in the breaks. Fahey leading this one, but Blocker Clark looking to get down the inside, and coming behind them is Martin Tracy. His worst nightmare catching these guys. They're battling away amongst themselves. They'll be he'd be doing well to get a bit of tarmac to get by them. Look at Blocker Clark hanging on to those Integras in front. Great stuff from him. Inside the final lap now on this one, so Martin Tracy looking quite comfortable. Still battles going on all the way down the grid. Martin Tracy probably can pace himself. He's got the headlights on so they know he's behind them, but he doesn't need to get by these guys before the checker flag, because Barry Rabbit's dropped 7 or 8 seconds back at this stage. But a great battle here between the Turbo Corrado and Mannion in the Integra as they round the S's side by side. And look at Murta, really drives this Corrado hard. Jomo tuned, as we said, but Martin Tracy right back up with them now. We're on board just for a second there with the Corrado. We can see the back end of Mannion's car. Fahey getting away from them, but Blocker Clark is leading at this stage, and Martin Tracy just waiting till the main straight, blasting by those midfielders and taking the checkered flag for another fine win in the Irish Touring Car Championship. So Martin Tracy takes the win from Barry Rabbit, Philip Burdock, Donal Arundel, Stephen Maher and Tom Fahey. The rookies are Stephen Maher, Tom Fahey and David Clark.
As you say, it started 7th. I think we were up to 9th maybe before the restart, so back down to 11 again. Bit of confusion out in the grid to get going for the second start, but yeah, I got going. Good old dice with James Mannion from Galway, and Tom Fahey was down in power, so I was kind of reeling him in a little as well, hoping I actually might catch him, but it didn't happen. But yeah, very good, very enjoyable now, I have to say.
We just started. We were late for qualifying this morning, so we just started from 22nd. We got a good start. I got up to 11th place after about the third or fourth lap, and the race was put under a yellow flag, and we had to restart, and we had to go back to 22nd, and we just kept it going again then after the restart, and luckily enough we finished 5th.
I finished 3rd overall today. Started the race, I lost it on the first corner. Thomas O'Rourke got by me, and unfortunately I had a bit of a dice with him, but unfortunately his engine let go, so I managed to get by. The rest of the race was just trying to catch Barry and Martin, and it was pretty quiet, but at least I finished on the podium and finished the race today.
Yeah, we had a good start. Surprised I managed to keep alongside Martin into the first corner on both starts, the original and the restart. Just didn't have the grip around the outside. Then I was able to hang into him for a few laps with good pace. Tuna Factory car is going well, but we just don't have the power that he has. He'd probably have almost twice the power, a little bit quicker in the corners, and we can make up time there.
Very good race. Obviously 2 restarts, so there's always a bit of pressure from Barry there. He kept me honest for the first few laps, and meant basically that he was in my mirrors basically for the first few laps, and I tended to get away from him then, and then the back marker, so there was always a bit of an edge there. We didn't really know whether we were going to get it or not, so I'm delighted it was over, in fairness.
Join us after the break for more action from the Irish Touring Car Championship.